going back to the social media, sorry for the tangent.
Oh, no
But the
worries.
social media team, had you seen this done in any other places or in any other college campuses? Or did you completely start it just without hearing about it from anywhere else?
Well, I mean, I really hadn't seen any examples of going as far as that was concerned. I mean, a lot of programs had social media, but generally the social media was run by the department and not by students. And since the 190 since the activity units were originally built around the idea of internships, um, it was our decision that it shouldn't just be a matter of running like, oh, we have a Twitter account or whatever. It's that we should make this a value add for students. Well, we're in the middle of Silicon Valley, and so, we should really try to do something that is more substantial, right? And so that's why we decided that we were going to run it like a startup, right? We're going to run it like a tech company, and we eventually did build into a board of directors and a strategic plan and an integrated training program. And then it was also hooked up with the com oh god, I don't even remember the name of the club anymore. But there's a with a student organization, right? And so that allowed us to access the student organization funds, and we had a job fair every year. We worked with the career center to set that up. And so that was the idea that, operating social media for yourself is not the same as operating for a organization. And so that way you would be able to go out after graduation and you would have this experience, especially for students who work their way into management, because then you would have management experience. If you give students a path to excel and you talk with them and not at them, and you operate based on their lived experiences, you get fantastic performance out of students, and they will completely step up. If you give the proper framework, the context for them, they will excel. And I just don't think we spend a lot of time doing that. And that's something I was very proud of with the social media team, is that it was very much peer-based, and including me being a peer to the members of the team, is not dictating and not talking down to them, and listening to their experiences, and then taking my knowledge base as far as how the tech industry and technology works and the latest research in that area, and then showing them that path and being like, okay, now we need to execute, and then they would execute. So I just really think that that if we give our students the opportunity to do those type of things, and we don't do it enough, then they can compete with any student. At the time, I would put our students up against any student in the Bay Area, Berkeley, University of San Francisco, or whatever. How much latitude you can give students, because you want to give people enough autonomy that they have ownership, and then they really learn. But you have to have guardrails on there in terms of deliverables. It's like, this is how much content I need from you every month, and you set those limits as far as, so the YouTube channel, and then any of the link, building out the LinkedIn, which is huge at this point. Is probably like, at this point, there's got to be like 3,000 people on LinkedIn for us. And as well as looking at what is facing outwards, right, towards the community versus what is facing inwards towards students.
You said that when the social media team started, it was a little smaller, but this is an excellent resource for students. So were a lot of them eager to join? And how big was the team when you initially started? For us right now, the team is currently like 60 members.
Yeah, 8.
Wow.
So we grew it from 8 students to basically, we hit 5th the last semester that I did it. We had 50 students and a board of directors and a strategic plan. And
the social media team has been around for 10 years, like since it's and you started it, which is huge. Is this where you envisioned it going? And what do you hope to see in the future for students and the social media team as this program continues to grow?
The point was that you needed somebody who was really could manage that infrastructure, was up on the research, really knew what was going on. We need to make it student-centered and student-driven. Allow students to drive this. We need to give them agency and autonomy, because that is going to that is going to prepare them to go out in the world and have agency and autonomy, and that they need to own it and not have the attitude it's like, I'm going to be gone in 2 years, I don't care, right? It's like, you need to own this while you're here, and you can make a difference, and you could grow as a human being to realize that this is not, that problems aren't insurmountable. It's just a matter of taking ownership, and that if nothing can happen without someone taking ownership of it, and that the students were the ones to do it, right?
After all of that, what would you hope to see happens with the comms social media team? I know you've mentioned that you want to see more people invested. Do you see any possible way that that could be happening anytime soon?
But getting on the social media team was competitive. You had to put in an application, and then I had to go through and read all those applications and seeing where people were at, where we could place them, as far as what they can do, and then providing a trajectory. So it's like you're on, so who's on the watching who's on the YouTube team, say, and then watching out and realizing that I've got a student. It's like the worst possible situation if you're like an employer, is that I've got like 2 years max usually to have somebody who's going to do it. And a lot of times they would stay on, and they would just take like, open units or whatever after their 2 units because they wanted to continue on. And then you need to identify those people on the team to be like, hey man, I want you to consider being the manager for the YouTube team. And they're like, oh, and the thing is, honestly, for a student, that's huge. To have a faculty member tap them and be like, you should think, director of social media, being on the board of directors, I think that's something you could really excel at. I mean, that's a life-changing, to have anybody express confidence in you to give you that responsibility. The fact that you're basically getting nothing for it other than experience besides, but I mean, that's what drove me. But that's, it's worked with students like you, right? Is that you are outliers. If you put those students that are kind of in the middle, what we used to call like, your C plus B students, right? You put them with the A students, they will become B plus students, right? They will move up. And I've seen that over and over again. And so if you find those leaders and you allow them to lead, and then they can inspire the people that work underneath them to also want to excel and to look at the world in a different way, then that is the benefit. That is the benefit of the team. That's what I would want for the team to continue to move forward, is to give people that escalatory path. So you drag people up into management positions, you give them that sense of responsibility, that ownership and autonomy, and then other students look to them and be like, I think I could probably do that. That was kind of the point of the social media team, was that kind of empowerment and that way to take that experience out into the world, and to demonstrate that you have what it takes, and that you're the one that should get that job. You're the one that should get that promotion, because you know how to make things happen, even when there's very little incentive for you to do that hard work, right? And I think that's critical.
If you could maybe give one parting word of advice to someone that wanted to join the social media team for maybe say next semester, what would you tell them?
In the social media team and moving into management, is that not see it as a way to get your 2 units, your 2 activity units. It's like the unit is just the context, provides the context where you can justify spending time on it, where normally you would look at it and be like, I don't have those experiences, and how you frame those experiences when you go in for those jobs, or when you're applying for graduate school, if you want to do something else, or professional program someplace, is to seize the opportunity, is that it is an opportunity, and that identifying and seizing opportunity is what makes you a successful person. Always. Keep an eye out for it, and to look at it and to be like, I'm going to do that, because that is an opportunity that got dropped in my lap, and I'm going to make sure to take advantage of that opportunity, because I think it'll be fun. That's the thing, it is fun. But also it could be, something that could really help me in your journey, right? Moving forward. This way you'll have something that you can carry with you, that you can really use, to your advantage to move forward and to have the life you want to have. I mean, that's really why most people are in college, you know.